strike while the iron is hot. One of one, don't follow blocks. Man, I got this on lock. Team Harvey, team hustle, team can't be stopped. Just cop 900 blower, yeah, fresh out the shop. Let's go bowling. I'm an expert on the lane. Smooth approach, about to roll a perfect game. And well connected with the sport's biggest names. We can't talk unless the X on the frame. I'm here asking the questions, clear the air and confusion. Fresh, humble, and arrogant with the logo infusion. Red cup for the right vibe. I got the answer. You going live with Bowtie.
Yo, what's going on, family and friends? I hope everyone had a great Thursday. I want to say it is, yes. Man, like I said, days just run together at this point in time in life. We don't know. But I am your main man, Mr. Bowtie himself, your host, Brandon Grant. And like I said, I hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone is staying safe. Tonight, I got my boy, Mr. Matt McNeil, coming to the screen. I'm sure you guys seen him on TV, out there doing his thing, helping the guys out on tour. If you bowled USBC championship, you probably seen his name up there. But yeah, if you don't know his story, it's time to get to know him, man. I'm gonna bring my boy Big Matt to the screen here.
Hey,
Big
Brandon.
Matt, what's cracking, bro?
Well, I tell you what, I'm just going to start out this whole thing and say that despite my 6 years of post-secondary education, I cannot figure out time zone math. And that is why the show is an hour late tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It is all because of me, and I cannot do simple arithmetic. So any negative comments or derogatory comments should be directed towards me and not Brandon, just to clear the air.
Man, guys, like all I know is I was sitting here 5 o'clock, and I'm like, man, where my boy Matt at? So I hit Matt, and Matt finally hit me up. It was like 5:10 or so around there, and he was just like, oh, man, so we'll be live in 50 minutes. And I'm like, no, we'll be live now. And he's like, wait, 5 o'clock your time is 9 o'clock my time. And I'm like, that's a negative. No, buddy. I don't know where you what 2 + 2 or 3 + 1 or 4 - 1 was, but clearly that wasn't it.
Now, and Brandon, just because of that, I'm going to send you a signed logo infusion jersey, and please donate it or raffle it or whatever you want to do. But I felt horrible because I was like, oh wait, it's California, so 5 his times 9 mine because I'm on the East Coast in Florida here, and no, not even close. And But I, it's one of those lapses in a simple arithmetic. So
yeah, that was quite funny. And I'm sitting there, and he's just like, nah. But no, dude, what's good? But how's everything else, though, man?
I tell you what, we just came off of the PBA Tour Finals or the Tour Championships, and the King of the Lanes, and Team Storm, Rotogrip. 900 Global, we did very, very well. And I was so happy and so proud of our players and how they performed on the lanes on the CBS Sports Network shows and the FS1 shows the last few days. I was able to be there in Jupiter, Florida, and all of our guys bowled really well, and our products performed amazingly well. And that's one of the big things, especially our main, our new top of the line products, our Axiom and our Nuclear Cell, along with our mainstays. Those are the key pieces that I'm looking to fill the puzzle in the players' arsenals. And to see those performing really, really well under the TV lights means that they cut the mustard, and they're legit, and they're balls that bowlers need to have in their arsenals.
Hey, there you go, man. It's like I said, I know your boy Chris Prather, dude. He throws the hell out the ball.
I told Chris, because I had dinner with him the night after we got done qualifying for the Tour Finals, and I went to school with Chris at Wichita State for a semester, and there's some things that happened, and Chris didn't maintain his eligibility, but that's neither here nor there.
Right.
Chris was meant to be a bowler. I'm going to say that right now. Chris's like meaning in life is to be a baller. And I told Chris, you're one of the last true artists of bowling. And when I say an artist on the lanes, he's a guy you love to watch because he's so it's beautiful to watch him because he has so many tools. He can beat you from 2 board and he can beat you from 35. And he can beat you everywhere in between. And I equate Chris Prather. If you took David Ozio and melded him with Norm Duke, you get Chris Prather.
Wow.
That's just my opinion. And I think time will ultimately tell. But Chris is a future Hall of Famer, no doubt in my mind.
Oh, I agree. I agree with that. I strongly agree with that. I said when I see him throw the ball, it's like effortless.
Oh, effortless power through powerless effort.
Yeah, it's clearly, man. And I'm just like, wow.
He makes it look so easy, but the rev rate that he generates and the way he can change his role, which a lot of players, and I'll just tell you this, speaking from a guy that bowls part-time on tour, okay?
Yep.
Everybody can change their role. The real hard thing to change is your axis tilt, okay?
Okay.
You can change your ball roll, but to change your axis tilt takes a lot. I mean, that takes a lot. This guy, Brandon, no joke, this guy can change to whatever he wants, create whatever shape he wants, whatever shape the lanes are asking from, or asking for from him. He can change at the drop of a hat. And I tell you what, as a person who is a historian of the sport, to see that, but it's just flattering to be in his presence. It honestly is.
The man, yeah, I'm telling you, when I like the guy, man. But hey, you tell us about yourself. Where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And
you're a Viking fan.
I tell you what, man, it's you got to have tough skin to be a Vikings fan. 4 times to the bowl and 0 for 4.
It's all right.
And I tell you what, Minnesota sports teams. I mean, you look at professional hockey. You look at baseball. We haven't won the pennant since '91. You look at basketball. We haven't made the NBA finals ever. You look at the Vikings. We haven't played in a Super Bowl since in almost 30 years, over 30 years. It's tough. You have thick skin, but that helps you battle the harsh Minnesota winters.
But yeah, you guys were close.
We've been close, but it's kind of like we got that cloud hanging over us, like Boston, like the Red Sox or like the Cubs. Maybe it takes 60, 70 years. I don't know.
Right.
Beat that curse or whatever's going on with us. Man, I tell you what, it's hard. I've made some pretty safe bets, just joking with people saying, when the Twins win the pennant. And like, I feel confident when I say that, because I mean, they play in a weaker division. So generally we can compete within our division, but we always get stomped by whoever comes out of the East. And it's usually either Boston or New York. And we just don't have the hitting power and we don't have the pitching power to keep up with them. And that's just those bigger market, bigger salary cap teams. And that's just it. Yeah,
pitching is huge when it comes to baseball.
Oh, I tell you what, man, it is. Now, are you a Dodgers fan or Giants fan, or what's your deal?
Baltimore Orioles. Don't ask me how. I don't know. Hey, I've been loving Cal Ripken, and it just kind of went from there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Everybody loves Cal, man. I can't. I don't think you could find a person that doesn't like Cal Ripken.
There you go. Hey, do you have any siblings? Are you the only child?
No, I have a younger sister. She lives in Oklahoma. She's 5 years younger than me. And I tell you what, she got the hard worker gene in our family. She works with horses and equine science, and she's probably next to my dad. She's the hardest working person I know, and my hat's off to her. So,
did she get that bowling gene, or you took all of that?
No, I took all the bowling gene, and so I got the bowling gift of gab gene, and my sister got the hard work, blue collar, just nose to the grindstone, hard work gene. And definitely got that from my father, and God bless. If I tell you what, it's so important to have a father in your life and a father in the home. I can't tell you. My parents divorced when I was 9, actually.
Okay.
I was really lucky to come out the way I did in the end. But, man, I tell you what, life is real hard without a good father figure in your life.
Man, that's to say that again, bro, because a lot of people, man, like, I don't know if you see it as much, but like coaching youth, you see a lot of single moms out there. And I'm like, dude, where's the dad at? Your son is out here balling on the basketball court or killing on the football field, and you guys are nowhere in existence. Like, man, what's really going on?
Yeah, no, man. I tell you what, it's as a man, if you have a child, you got a real responsibility, and you got to be there. And the statistics are real. And I'm a criminal justice master's. That's what my degree is. If you grow up in a fatherless home, you're 9 times more likely to not finish high school, and you're 20 times more likely to be incarcerated.
Wow.
And those are not made up numbers. Those are strict facts. And I'll tell you what, without a great fatherly influence, life is real hard. And it's just important that as men all step up and make sure we take that responsibility and help our kids out, because it's so important, and the stats show it.
I love it. Hey, Gail said, how are you keeping yourself corona free out there in Florida?
I'll tell you what, everybody is, I'm in Fort Myers. I was in Jupiter, and the two sides of the state are really interesting. If you go to the East Coast, okay, you get like more of the Northeast retirees, and you kind of get that Northeast vibe. Like, you get the aggressive, like, hey, forget about it. And, I'm going to cut you off traffic and drive however I want. And,
right.
And that whole deal. And on the west side of Florida, where I'm at right now, Fort Myers, it's a lot of Midwestern retirees. So you get your Minnesota, your Iowa, your Wisconsin, your Illinois, Ohio. And it's a lot more laid back. Like on the East Coast, there's like mask mandates and everything's kind of locked down and things are really stringent. There's like people are like, oh, Corona, this whole deal. And like on the West Coast, it's like, hey, don't be stupid.
Man.
The choice is up to you, but we advise you to not be stupid. So like, here's the deal. As a guy who was in 9 different countries last year, this is honestly what I'm going to tell you. Airplanes have never been this clean. Airports have never been this clean. Airport lounges have never been this clean. Okay. You know what, folks? I'm just going to say it. If you're at risk, stay at home. If you're not, wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Practice common sense, but live your life. I mean, we all got lives to lead, and we all love to do things. And I'll tell you what, life is unbelievably short. So let's just live our lives.
There you go.
And you know what? I'll probably get persecuted for that. But
you're right though. But it's so funny that we're going through what we're going through with this pandemic, and people have to say, and the governor and everybody else have to say, wash your hands. Like, dude, you should have learned to wash your hands a long time ago. So why do you have to tell us now to wash your hands? Like, come on.
Man, I tell you what, so every guy has been there, right? We've been in the men's restroom and we've seen a guy leave without washing his hands. And you're thinking to yourself, you're like, dude, that guy did not wash his hands. I got to make sure to not touch his hands in the bowl.
Oh, okay? Yeah.
Every guy can say that has happened to him at least a dozen times. It's happened. It's happened to me plenty of times. So it's just like, hey, man, let's all chip in. Like, you know, like just let's practice some common sense. Let's wash our hands. If you feel sick, don't go anywhere. Chill at home.
Yeah, seriously.
That seems plausible to me. You know, like, yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. Hey,
who do you consider? I'm not a medical professional and I'm not a crooked politician, so I really can't give any more advice than that.
Hey, who do you consider to be your biggest bowling mentor?
You know what? I'm going to say my biggest bowling mentor, and that's a tough one. Like the two guys that inspired me in my life. One is he's really, really close to me, and his name's Dale Ballard Jr. And I grew up.
Before you even start there, prayers to Dale. Hope you get better soon. Seriously, dude. All our condolences is going out to you, man, and for a speedy recovery.
Yeah, and I've been staying in touch with Dale, and his surgery went really well. His first surgery went great.
Okay.
He's feeling a lot better. His pain threshold's really low now, so he's finally getting some good sleep, resting up, and he's got another procedure, and it's going to be a long recovery, but it looks really good. So
okay.
I told him he's got a lot more to teach me, so he better recover so he can, finish my Jedi training.
Oh, man. And who's the other person?
I definitely would say the other person that has been a real inspiration to me is Mike Albee. Mike was the guy that I grew up watching. Between him and Dell, those were the two guys that I really idolized watching on Saturday afternoon TV. And Mike, just because I was left-handed. And what I loved about watching Mike bowl was, you'd see Mike from first, second, third, fourth, and fifth arrows. And the only time I ever saw him right a fourth arrow was at the PBA National, the year he made the show with Jason Couch. I think it was, if I recall right, it was 94, 90. Oh, no, it was 95. Okay. And it's a really cool show. And you see Jason Couch and Mike Albee both playing right a fourth arrow. So if you've never seen a left-hander playing right a fourth arrow on TV, check that show out because it's legit. There was two left-handers that both made the show playing right a fourth arrow.
And guys, you know me, I am a lefty hater because I feel like they don't ever have to move. I am most definitely going to watch that show tonight if I can find it somewhere. I know it's on YouTube. It's somewhere, but I need to see this.
Yeah, no, you got to watch it because it's a stellar performance. It really is. And Mike was really patient. He was a really patient player, and he always capitalized on opportunities that his opponents would give him. And I tell you what, growing up as a junior bowler, we bowled lots of match play. The Minnesota Junior Bowlers Tour, the Greater Iowa Scholarship Bowlers Tour, and the Wisconsin Junior Bowlers Tour, you'd bowl like 8 or 9 games qualifying, and then you'd either bowl 10, 9, or 8 games of match play to determine a tournament winner, all in one day. So I was really lucky.
That's a lot of games.
It's a lot of games. And I tell you what, growing up in that environment, I learned very quickly how to become a good match play bowler. And I also learned how to become a very versatile bowler. Because, back then, and I may be dating myself a little bit, but I'm talking, 2000, 2001, 2002. And this is generally when you'd bring, 3 balls to a tournament, to a junior tournament. That like a triple ball tote was pretty, and maybe like a double tote over your shoulder.
Right.
So you'd have 5 options. Generally, one of them was a spare ball. Well, you really had to learn how to be very creative with your releases. And you had to be very creative, and you had to have a lot of imagination. And I thought that was the most interesting part of the sport. Like, that was the part of the sport that really appealed to me, was when I could develop new releases and I could discover new things. It was just so exciting, and it drew me in. And all I wanted to do was bowl more and compete more and practice more, because it drew me into how complex and how deep it was.
Wow.
And so all those years of bowling junior tournaments across the Midwest, bowling match play, I became really, really good at understanding what goes into bowling somebody head to head.
Yeah.
Which is why I've been very, very good when it comes to head-to-head situations over the course of my career. But I also became a very versatile player because, like I said, I would bring 3 to 5 balls in. Now, granted, I get it. All the people are going to say, "Oh, he's left-handed," he never has. But after 19 games and the right side is into 5th, 6th arrow, I learned how to be very creative with my releases and very creative with my equipment. And so it was a very good educational lesson for me. And it was just an absolute blessing in disguise, because sometimes, as a left-hander, you just got nothing the whole day. And if you make the cut, it's 19 games of misery for the entire Sunday, and you're buried in, 9th or 10th. But it helps you learn how to grind, and it helps you learn how to be patient, and it helps you learn how to do all the things you really need to full the PBA tour, or even take a step back, be successful in collegiate bowling, or successful, take a little step further at the USBC Open Championships. All that experience, that really teaches you how to succeed in those environments. And if you can be a great spare shooter, if you can have imagination, if you can be creative, if you have a lot of different shots in your bag, if you can be patient, if you can read lanes, if you can read ball reaction, you'll never get shut out. 99% of the time, I'm not shut out of the tournament. And, there's really good left-handers bitching out the lane man. They're saying the left sucks. And I'm like, it wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible.
Is this why McNeil, guys, look, we're going to cut Matt off. Is this why this guy is so good? I've heard stories, but I never knew how good this guy was. And this right here, it just explains to me why he's so good. But look, Kenny Saxon asks, do you think bowling is the most competitive sport of all time?
It absolutely ranks up there, and I'll absolutely tell you why. And Kenny is dead right for saying that, because the complexity and the depth of the sport of bowling is incredible. I mean, I could sit somebody down who's never bowled in their life, and I could talk to them for 7 days straight, and their eyes would be glazed over, and they'd look at me like I just tried to teach them ancient Egyptian. Okay. And here, this is the beauty of bowling, and this is what I really love about, when I say people are artists, like Norm Duke, he's an artist. Pete Weber, he's an artist. Chris Prather, he's an artist. This is what I love about bowling, is there's so much operating in the gray. There's no black and white. And when I coach, I get a lot of students, they want black and white answers, right? Well, okay, when I leave a 10-pin, what do I need to do? Well, what kind of 10-pin is it? Is it a soft 10 or is it a raining 10? Because the answers are different there.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now take it one step further. Well, who's bowling on your pair and where are they playing? And what type of equipment are they using? Are they right of you? Are they left of you? Are they on top of you? What balls do you have in your bag? What surfaces are they at? How are they laid out? What covers do they have? What course do they have? So now your mind is just like,
my mind right now is doing that. And I'm like, can I put you in my pocket when I go to tournaments and say, hey, Matt, just help me out a little bit right here and here? That's all I'm just asking.
Well, yeah. You know what? And that's why, I'll tell you why. That's why I stand in the back and I try to be a ball rep. It's a hard game to figure out. And that's just the environment we live in. And I'll tell you what, nothing will ever beat. I promise you this to everybody listening out there. Nothing will ever beat hard work and determination. And I know everybody bowls tournaments where people quote unquote match up, right? Everybody hates when they see somebody they deem of lesser ability match up and outscore them, because what they do naturally matches up with the condition and the lane surface and everything that's going on that day, and they run everybody over. And they're like, well, he's not as good as me, right? Everybody has said this to themselves.
Absolutely.
Right? And this is the problem that we have in the modern day sport of bowling. You got to chalk that up as cost of doing business and take it as a learning experience to say that, hey, I need to be more adaptable. I need to be more of a chameleon and adapt to my surroundings. And I'll tell you what, I have 5 different releases I can give you on command. And then I got pluses and minuses of those 5 different releases.
Wow.
So I can get on the high side and I can get on the low side of all 5 different releases. And they're different. They're absolutely different. So I never say, when everybody's complaining about the left shutout, I don't ever say that, because it's very, very rare. And you look at my PBA record, look at my amateur record, I'm really never shut out. I'll still find a way to get a check. I'll still find a way to be somewhat competitive. I may not have a winning ball reaction, but hey.
Steve Warren asks, why is it that you match up so great at nationals but not the PBA?
Well, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I matched up at nationals for 6 years and then it went away. They changed the way that the lane conditioning was done, and I'm still trying to figure out a way to combat it, because I went from averaging about 250 to 205, so in 1 year. So I'm trying to figure out a way to what's going on at nationals right now is the front's hook, the back ends are tight, and for somebody that has more end over end roll, that produces a very undesirable ball reaction. So I've been using a lot of my other releases, my B, C, D, and E releases. I've been trying to tweak my equipment, and I just haven't found the right recipe yet. And to be honest, it's been 5 years, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, actually 4 years. I was kind of hopeful for this year. I thought I had it figured out. But that's what I say every year. It's like the Cleveland Indians, hey, this is our year. We got it.
Hey, DP asks, what's your favorite storm ball?
I'll tell you what, man. My favorite storm ball, old school, is the Storm X Factor Deuce. Is my first 300 and my first 800 ball. So hands down, my old school ball, Storm X Factor Deuce. I'll tell you what, we got some new balls coming out from Storm. The trend is the new Jason Belmonte ball. It's legit. This is the best one of the series, hands down. I'd drill 3 of them if I could. I'm not patronizing Jason, because I'm not a guy that patronizes Jason. We got a new ball called the IQ Tour Nano Pearl, which is just straight nasty. Everybody knows how good the IQ Tour is, and this is a Pearl edition with nano cover. It's beyond ridiculous. And our new ball called the Parallax, it's a great replacement to a gap in the arsenal that I feel we had. And it reminds me a lot of the lock, the original lock.
Okay.
and that was a ball that was just off the chain. So, you know, we got some really good new releases that I really love, but you know, I'm an old school dude, and so I like, you know, I'm talking to the guy wearing a bow tie, so I don't have
to. Hey, look, Gail asked, what did you do before you went full time for Storm?
So I was in charge of day-to-day internal security operations for the Target Corporation at their corporate campus.
Okay, that's what's up. This guy right here, Gerald Johnson, this guy is really good.
Yes, he is. I love Gerald. So, man. Gerald, much love, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell you. Let's see here. It said there's a new poster called Everything I Need to Know in Life, Learned in Kindergarten. Washing hands is on there.
Man, I tell you what, I'm not lying. Every guy can say. Every guy can say.
Gail, see, look, here go. Gail, you did this the other day. Team Lefty, I told you, I am not a fan of left-handers. And yes, I seem to get a lot of them on my show. Why? I don't know. I have no clue. But she knows. Uh-oh. Look, see, look, man, you got people on here, man. Let's see. Hey, so where did you attend college and what did you study?
This is really unpopular. I'm going to say something extremely unpopular.
Unpopular.
Unpopular. Very unpopular. I dedicated 10 years of my life to the profession of law enforcement, and I worked for the Eden Prairie Police Department for 10 years. And I got my 4-year degree in law enforcement, my master's in criminal justice. I'm just going to equate that statement with never in my life have I ever treated anybody differently based on their skin color, their sex, their religion, their creed, their gender identification. I strictly believe in treating everybody fairly and equally, and that's what I've always strived to do in my life. And I think at the base root, we are all human beings, and we all breathe the same air, and we all have dreams and passions and hopes, and we all live on this planet. We all got to get along.
Absolutely. Hey, Wanda Parker said, no bad mouthing the Indians.
I love, you know, I tell you what, I'm you know what, Cleveland, believe land. I tell you what, I have the utmost respect for Cleveland fans. I really do. You know, you look at Browns fans and you look at Cavs fans and you look at Cleveland Indian fans, and, you know, I mean, the Indians have put together so many good teams, and it's only a matter of time for the Indians. I really believe it is.
Yeah. Wait, did I ask you, where did you go to college? You said
yeah, I went to University of Minnesota, and then I did my master's at Wichita State.
The Gophers?
The Gophers. That's right.
Okay. Did you bowl collegiately?
I did for 2 years at Wichita State.
How did that impact your career moving forward as far as bowling wise?
That's a long-winded question, but I'm glad you asked it. In 2013, I was working the Open Championships as the Showcase Lanes coach. And I knew that USBC at the time was not going forward with the Showcase Lanes coaching position, which take it for what it is. I believe coaching should be at the national tournament. I firmly believe coaching should be offered at the national tournament. That's just something I believe in my heart, and people can disagree with me. That's okay. No big deal. I reached out to Coach Vatican. I made one call because I'd never bowled collegiately before, because at the U there was no bowling team.
Right.
So I'd never bowled collegiately before. I knew at that point I wanted to expand my education and get a master's degree. And I said, all I know about collegiate bowling is that the best program in the world is at Wichita State, and I know the best coach in the world is Gordon Vatican. So I called Gordon Vatican and I said, hey, you may not know me, but my name is Matt McNeil, and I'm really interested in coming to school next fall. And he said, well, I know who you are. let's have you down. And me and Gordon, it was I think it was like a father-son. It was like a father that I didn't have in my life. And or at least in the way that my biological father wasn't there, because my parents separated when I was young. So we connected instantly, and I said, well, this is the place I got to be for the next 2 years. And when I went to college, we tried making some physical tweaks, which, I'll tell you what, when you're 28 years old and you've kind of built yourself, and you are who you are at 28. I'm gonna say this right now. At 28 years old, you are who you are. You can make some small tweaks, but don't make the big changes. Dance with the one that got you there. Don't dance at all. I tried making some big changes, and it was disastrous. I mean, when I say disastrous, I think I'm using disastrous in the best terms possible.
Wow.
And I would say, I would honestly say I had the lowest lows of my entire life in my career during trying to make those changes. But what I also got out of my time at Wichita State was I got this opportunity to kind of wipe the slate clean and become somebody who was a team player. Right. And who knew how to play team bowling, and who knew how to be there for his teammates, and who could adapt and survive in any environment, and who really understood how to make people around him play at their best. And it was because of that we won the national title in 2015. And I left on one of the best shots I've ever made in my career. And it was perfect. I was really lucky, but I had the worst time of my life, and I had the best life.
When did your bowling journey start? What age?
It was instant. My mother bowled a league. Well, she was pregnant with me. Yep. And then after she had me, she continued to bowl in the company league. I was born June 30th. So she came back that fall and bowled in the company league at a grocery store. Mm-hmm. And so she would, she'd take me in my little carrier to league. Yeah. And this is the 80s. So, everybody's, sitting there, smoking.
Inside the bowling alley.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess we've advanced as a society, but whatever. So, everybody's sitting in there smoking cigarettes, and I'm just watching the ball go down the lane and hit the pins. And it, like as an infant, it just enamored me. And when I was 3 years old, my parents bought me this Fisher-Price bowling set.
Yep.
And I played with it constantly. When I was 5, I got into a Saturday morning junior program. I'm sure just as you did.
Yep.
And it was more of the same. It was the dark bowling alley, if you want to call it a bowling alley, where your eyes would have to get adjusted to the dark when you walked in from Saturday mornings. And the coach would be sitting there, smoking a cigarette, having a cup of coffee. You're dropping your shoulder.
Oh, man.
But I tell you what, that was actually the rock in my life. Through my parents' divorce and everything like that. If I didn't have bowling, I don't know what I would have done, to be perfectly honest with you. Just really, really lucky I had the sport of bowling to really focus a lot of my energy on during those years. So,
hey, Wanda asks, how's Storm University going?
It's going really well. And it's going to make some big strides coming up here, and I can't say what it is, but it's going to make some. It's going to blow your mind.
Is this like a real thing? Storm University?
Storm University is a legit thing. You get a real degree and you get a T-shirt. You get a cool Storm T-shirt that has a grad cap on it with the tassel and everything like that. Right now it's 3 courses and a final. It revolves around mental game, ball mapping, and equipment. And I really wanted to highlight 3 of the big things that I feel a lot of bowlers didn't possess in their bowling IQ, as I like to call it.
Okay.
I wanted to raise that awareness level because as an outsider looking in, when I work with the best players in the world, these are the things that I wish every single player had. And so I put together this course and I've offered it internally for the last year and a half to everybody that's on Storm Rotogrip staff.
Okay.
There's some cool stuff that's going to happen with this program. And so I can't say any more about it, but there's some really cool things.
And it's only for Storm and Rotogrip. Why haven't you, if you're that big part of in the game and you love the game, why not share with others?
Well, I can't say anything, but
okay, I got you. Hey, Gail asked, how old were you when you received your USBC Eagle?
When I received my first Eagle, I was when I won it, I was 27, and then when I received it, I was 28. And I remember the president of USBC, or the president of the USBC board back then, came up to Minnesota to give it to me, and it was a very, very, very special night. And I was
sure.
And this is the weird part. I get the Eagle, and I'm like, man, like, this is it. Like, this is probably the only one I'm ever going to get.
Wow.
And, to be honest, I thought it would change my life in certain ways, and it didn't. But I think I realized that after it really only gave me more motivation to work harder. And I just wanted to prove to my peers that I wasn't a left-handed one-trick pony.
Right.
And everybody says, the stadium. And I've only won one of my 4 Eagles in the stadium.
Damn, 4 Eagles?
Yeah. So I've got 4, and I've only won 1 in the stadium. And the other 3 were when I was the only left-hander in the top 30 for all events. So I'm just going to throw that out there for anybody, who says that I can't play when the left isn't walled up or when the left doesn't have it or anything like that. I'll tell you what, I can play at a high level. And that's why when I go on tour, I can play with those guys. And that's how I lead tournaments out there and I make the money I do out on tours, because when I do go out there, I can play. I understand what it takes and I know what it takes to win. That's just it. I don't really subscribe to that whole left is locked out thing, because I'll tell you what, every single shot I'm trying to find a way to beat you. That's just me. I'm so competitive. My grandma she raised me good. She'd make me play Scrabble with her, and I'd be flipping tiles over to create more blank tiles, and I'm just a competitive guy, man.
Wow. Hey, being an extra eye for some of the best in the game, is that fun or stressful?
It's stressful because you're making decisions that affect their livelihood. I mean, if you think about it, this is what they do for a living. This is how they put bread on the table.
Right.
And you're a part of the decision making that could ultimately go one way or the other. And it could go one way where they make 20 grand, 25,000, or it could go the other way where they get nothing. And to know that if they get nothing, they got to wait. In today's environment, who knows how long they go before they compete for a big prize again.
Right.
That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of stress.
Whew.
I take that a lot more seriously because if it's me, I can handle that. Like, okay, yeah, I made a bad decision. That was a bad call, and
Right.
hey, I go back to work and whatever. But for these guys, it's a lot more, and so I take that very, 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 very seriously when I'm talking to the guys.
Hey, what is your biggest bowling accomplishment?
I would probably say winning my third all events. I'm the only person in the history of the United States Bowling Congress Open Championships to win 3 all events Eagles. 4 people have won 2 of them.
Wow.
In the 115 years that the tournament's been running.
Yeah.
So when I won that third one, that just kind of put me in a category that I'm in on my own. I think
you're the only one with 3.
Yep.
Wow, that is special.
Yeah, and the other, there's 4 guys that had 2, which was including me, and all 3 have passed on.
Wow.
So, to say I'm in elite company, I've kind of in this own grouping. I'm just in this own category by myself, but like they had that OC bracket challenge that was going, and I went up against Bill Lillard and got squashed.
Oh yeah,
as I should have, because Mr. Lillard, 68 years, 8 Eagles, and over 100,000 career pinfall. I mean, it's those are stellar numbers.
Oh yeah, those are sick. Those are sick.
I did the math, and so like you think about it, you're like, okay, 100,000 pins. Yep. Say you shoot 2,000 every year. That's 50 years. You have to shoot 2,000. 50 years.
Wow.
You have to shoot 2,000 for 50 years. When if you shoot 1950 in my book, that's a good year.
Right. Damn.
So I mean, just to make it to 100,000, you'd have to average 2,000 for 50 years. That's just the math.
Wow.
Can't lie about that.
I've never even thought of it that way, but now that you put it that way, that is hell of impressive.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable accomplishment, and I'll tell you what, to be mentioned in the same breath as Bill Lillard is an unbelievable honor. It's very, very humbling. But I mean, the man has 8 Eagles and has knocked down more pins at that tournament than any other person on this planet. He has my utmost respect.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, what is your most memorable moment on the lane?
Oh, easy. 2015 Collegiate Nationals, winning in Wichita as a shocker bowler, winning that.
That's what the championship was in Wichita?
Yeah. We won the national title in Wichita that year, and to have, I mean, our alumni and the whole city was there. I mean, my goodness, it was chaos in the bowling center.
I can only imagine.
I mean, and we bowled so well. I mean, we had myself, AJ Chapman, tour star, Francois Lebois, future Hall of Famer, Mitch Hupe, tour star, and we had another guy named Justin Zwaska, who was a heck of a great bowler. And then we had 3 guys all behind him that could easily cut it out on tour. So I mean, we had a stacked team that year, and we went out and took names. I mean, it was we just beat everybody senseless that year. And I tell you what, to win that title in that city, for the university, and in front of all the alums, it just meant so much. It was just absolute. I mean, that was the 20th title that the program had amassed. Oh, wow. It was the 11th title for the men, and it was the last title that Coach V had won as a coach. and with the relationship that I have with Coach V, and it's just meant so much to be a part of that team and to deliver him that title and to give that to the city and the college. And I get teary-eyed just talking about it. It was pretty.
That right there that's an awesome experience. I could just imagine the energy that was in that building.
Yeah, what's weird? It's the only collegiate show that isn't on YouTube.
Really?
It is. I don't know why. There's some weird stuff, rights. I don't know.
Wow.
But I have a DVD copy, but I hope somebody puts it up on YouTube so people can watch it. But it was it was a pretty special day, and we just I remember after the tournament we all went to campus and we had a dinner, and a lot of the alumni and the parents were there, and we said farewell to the seniors. And I was a senior, Francois Lebois was a senior. So me and Frankie had roomed together. It was really special because we know we were leaving the program and we were leaving on top, and that's what we had came to Wichita to do, was to win a national title.
Right.
So it was really special for us. But after that, we went back and we kind of had an after party at our place, and just to have the respect of the alumni, and I think that was really cool, and that was really sentimental.
Right.
To have guys who had been a part of three-peat teams, to have the guys that were a part of, the teams that had made that program stand out, to have them give you the nod means a lot. So it was really cool. It was a special day.
That's cool.
Very special day.
That's cool. Hey, Brandon Tipton said, "Who do you love to bowl with on the tour?"
Who do I love to bowl with? Well, I definitely love bowling with my ex-teammates. I love bowling with Frankie. I love bowling with Mitch. Me and Mitch are on the Dallas or on the Motown Muscle this year, along with another shocker bowler, Josh Blanchard. So it's going to be kind of like a little shocker reunion for the PBA league. Chapman, Mitch Hupé. I love bowling with my teammates. But you know what? I've crossed with Norm Duke at a couple of years at the World Series.
Yeah.
I tell you what, man, he's cross. Gotten to work with him, working on the PBA 50 tour, and he's been an idol of mine growing up, and he's such a great human being. And he treats people so well, and he's such a cool guy to bowl with. Just the stuff he says, and he'll keep you loose or he'll pump you up. And even if he's bowling against you, like we're sitting here bowling qualifying, and I know I'm bowling against Norm. He's like, "Oh, come on, man, you can make a better shot than that," or like, "Man, that spare that's a real tough spare after you chopped the last one, wasn't it?" I'm like, "Yeah." Wow. The half bucket is real hard to make the second time after you chop it the first time,
Oh yeah, that's cool though. Hey, what have you done, or who? Well, yeah, what have you done to help you with your mental game, and who helped you with that?
Absolutely, Wichita State, Gordon Vatican. They made me probably the strongest mental player that I could be, and that's definitely one of the things that I attribute to my success on tour and my success overall is having a very good mental game, is going through the Wichita State Shocker Bowling program, and everything that I learned under the tutelage of Coach Vatican. Absolutely, bar none.
Huh. Hey, tell me your biggest success bowling the IB Open.
Oh, the IB Open. Well, I won it in 2014, but it was kind of a weird happenstance. I had a danger zone ice. You remember the danger zone ice? back
No.
in the 90s. So the danger zone, if you remember the danger zone back in like 96, 97, like that was the ball. Like if you threw a bowling ball, you threw a danger zone. Like, so they came out with the pro version. They called it black ice.
Okay.
So in the pro shop I grew up in, there's one on the rack, and I just signed with Brunswick. And so I'm like, man, I got to drill up that DZ ice. I mean, I know it's used. It's got like 3 plug holes in it, but I got to drill that thing up. That falls off the chain, man. That was a good ball. So I sitting there, I'm drilling it up, take it to Wichita State, and I throw it, it was kind of laying on the floor. I didn't really use it a whole lot. April rolls around. I drilled it in July. April rolls around to the next year at the IB Open. I'm packing my bags to drive to St. Louis.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I guess I'll take this old DZ ice. It hasn't worked. It hasn't done anything for me. So if anything, it'll make a good spare ball. So I grab this DZ ice, and I go to Ray Orff's pro shop. Legend, Ray Orff. Okay. Generation. This is a generational pro shop. Okay. And St. Louis is a bowling mecca and very rooted in bowling history. Your Ray Blues, your Tom Hennessy's, your Budweiser team, your Weber Senior, Pete, St. Louis, very, the Budweiser guys, very historic team. And that's, the Orffs are just as important in that whole bowling picture. And so the Orffs opened up their pro shop to me, and I hadn't even met them. And this is just a testament to how great of people they are. And we get a lot of people like that in the bowling community.
Oh, yeah.
That, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what makes bowling so great, is how great of humans we are to each other. And so they let me go into the shop and use the spinner, and I did a little ball work for them, and I was like, hey, let me give you some money for the spinner. And Orff was like, no, just, happy to have you. So I charred this black ice to like 360. I mean, it was like a charcoal briquette. I bowled the first squad of qualifying. And this was, that whole dark time I told you about Wichita State when I tried making these changes.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like I was throwing an unfolded lawn chair down the lane instead of a bowling ball. This was during that time.
Uh-oh.
So I bowled the first squad, and it was a nightmare. Is a mess. And Harvey Johnson was backing me. You know Harvey, right?
Harvey Johnson.
Black Godfather. So
oh, yeah.
Harvey's like, well, why don't you bowl the last squad, bowl the night squad? And I look at him sideways, like you're going to eat a taco, like you're going to take a bite of a taco. I look at him sideways like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a bite out of a taco. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I just stunk up the lane so bad they can smell me from the next county. And he goes, no, just bowl again. I'm like, fine. So out of desperation, I'm like, well, I'll just throw this DZ ice up the crack. I'll throw it a couple shots. Had a great reaction with it. Couldn't believe it. So I qualify for semifinals. Come back the next morning. DZ ice again, 360 charcoal briquette off the crack. Bam, bam, bam. I struck out in the 10th to make it by a pin out of the semifinals. I was so angry. I got this just disastrous pair, and the right lane was impossible. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I need 220, and I got a 250 reaction, and I hit this pair where 2-0 was a good score.
Right.
And I'm just like, this is bowling. This is bowling. So I strike out to shoot I think I shot 216 or something like that. And I'm packing my stuff up. I'm so angry. I slam my ball down in the bag, and I got my two. I'll never come back to this tournament. I'm wheeling my stuff outside, and Harvey comes up and he goes, "You just made the cut." I said, "You're out of your mind." I said, hey, man, I'll tell you what drugs are you on? Can you give me some? Because I need some right now.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
so I squeaked in the cut by a pin, and then I went 12-0 in match play.
Wow.
And I shot 268 in the title match, and that was it. I mean, that was it. And I bowled very well. And Mike Flanagan, my hat's off to Mike Flanagan. He does a great job, and I consider Mike a good friend. I don't know if he'd say the same about me. I don't blame him if he said he doesn't know me. But
Mike Flanagan is a good guy.
He's a great guy. He's a funny guy, and we both appreciate bowling the same way.
Yeah. And
we've had a lot of good talks. So my hat's off to Mike Flanagan for what he did. And I still got that trophy, and that's one of the most coveted trophies I ever had. It was a half ball of a Storm IQ Tour Nano.
Oh, wow.
No, it was the hybrid one. Now this is before I worked for Storm, so I'm sorry if I don't know the exact name of it. It was that IQ hybrid. I can't remember the name of it. But it was an IQ with a hybrid cover on it. I can't remember what they called it at the time. It was 2014. But it's this really nice trophy with a half ball mounted on top of it. So,
there you go. Hey, you have been successful on Global, Brunswick, and Storm. Usually, each company equipment rose differently. What is the key that has made you successful with all three brands?
I'll tell you what. Treat bowling balls like tools. That's the ultimate key. Keep it simple. So here's the deal.
Wanda said the IQ Fusion.
That's it. Yes, thank you, Wanda. Man, Wanda's been on me tonight like wet on rice, man.
Yeah, Wanda is Queen Storm. Like she's like storm that. I'm like just laughing at her.
I tell you what, Wanda. Yeah, thank you so much for keeping me. You're keeping me on my toes here, so I appreciate it. Treat bowling balls like tools, and this is what I tell everybody. I said, bowling ball manufacturers, if you're in the bowling ball manufacturing business today, you're probably not making a whole lot of junk because it's a really tight market and it's a hard market to excel in and make money in. Okay. I'll tell you what, if you use a Phillips head screwdriver on a flat head screw, it doesn't work out very good and it doesn't look good and it just causes a bunch of frustration, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. If you use the wrong ball at the wrong time in the wrong place, with the wrong layout, with the wrong surface, it's going to look really bad. And no matter how good you get it off your hand, I don't care. It's going to look bad, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Treat bowling balls like tools because that's what they are. It's a toolbox. And if you understand how the tools work and when they work and what makes them work, then you're fine. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Storm has the best catalog front to back, top to bottom. So that means we put the best toolbox out there on the market, in my professional opinion. Okay? From the high end to the low end and everything in between. I feel like if you stick with our catalog, you can go right down the line and you have really good steps of balls that complement each other and make sense to have in an arsenal. But in the end, treat bowling balls like tools because that's what they are. When I look at bowlers come up to me and say, hey, can you look at my bag? And I said, sure, yeah. They're like, well, I really struggle when the lanes get like X, okay? And look at their bag. And they have a 3-ball roller and a 2-ball tote. And they have 5 Phillips head screwdrivers. I said, well, you got 5 of the same tool. You don't have any tools to conquer anything else except for this. I said, all these balls are going to be pretty good when you're faced with, A, B. But when you're looking at C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, you're up the creek and you don't have a paddle.
Wow.
So this is my advice for everybody. When you get a new ball, please, I beg you, I'm literally begging you, take your balls into a Storm VIP Pro Shop and say, hey, this is what I have in my arsenal. What are the gaps? What am I missing? And that guy will tell you exactly what you're missing. Because it's not about just getting a new ball to get a new ball. It's about filling a void in your arsenal.
Right.
If you bowl league and you don't bowl anything other than league, okay, you probably need 3 to 4 balls a year. Okay.
Okay.
Right. And so you need to go into your Storm VIP Pro Shop and you say, this is what I'm bowling on. This is the lane surface I'm bowling on. I need to put a 3 or 4 ball arsenal together to combat what I'm going to see in a normal 3-game or 4-game league. And throw that together so you have options. So you know you're going to generally start with this ball or this ball. When they transition, you're going to go to this ball or this ball. And when they transition again, you're going to go to that ball or that ball. And that's it. And that's how you treat bowling balls, because that's what they are. Because they're tools. They're tools that you use for certain jobs and certain applications. And I hate to sound callous about it, but you have to treat them like that. And if you don't, bowling's a real tough game because you can't outbowl bad ball reaction.
No, you
can't. I'm really passionate about that topic. I'm sorry, man.
Wow. That is, look, see, Gail says that's exactly what I do.
Gail's a smart lady. I've talked to her a few times about this whole tool thing.
Hey, Gail just wants to be relevant right now. Gail, we don't care whatever. Hey, what should every bowler understand about launch angles?
Here's the thing I'd say about launch angles. Just because it feels good off your hand doesn't mean it's a good shot. Okay, because I get a lot of players that tell me, oh man, that one felt so good. I said, well, it was 3 left at 30 feet of your last one. So I don't care how good it felt because your launch angles were not even close. So you have to understand what the lane wants from you. And if you need steep launch angles through the front part of the lane, then that's what you got to be able to give it. If you need very close launch angles through the front part of the lane, that's what you needed. That's right. What you give the lanes. Your job as a bowler is to answer this question every single frame. What are the lanes asking of me right now? If you cannot answer that question, do not bother throwing a shot because it's not going to work out very well.
Okay.
And I've done it as a up and thrown a shot. And then you get 8 or 7 through the middle, and you're like, you're just throwing a shot. You don't know exactly what you're doing, and you don't know exactly what the lanes want from you. When you know exactly what the lanes want from you, are you thinking about it? No, you're just letting your body do the motions it knows how to do. When you have that whole piece of the puzzle figured out and you can see the picture, right? You throw the ball amazing. Everybody does.
Huh.
Every time I talk to people,
you said, what does the lanes want from us as bowlers?
Yes. When you know that, you see the picture, right? That's the term we use, right? See the picture. When you see the picture, you make great shots, right?
You're right. Absolutely.
When you don't see the picture, it's hard to pry it off, right?
You're correct.
So if you're constantly asking yourself, what are the lanes asking from me? You're keeping that picture relevant in your mind, and you're staying external, and you're not going internal. Because then you say, well, I don't really know what's working right now. Well, wait, the guy next to me is 300 over through 6, averaging 250. Where's he crossing in the arrows? Oh, he's crossing 22. Where's he getting to down lane? 10. What type of ball is he using? He's using a symmetrical pearl. Is it a strong pin or a weak pin? Let me watch it come back in the water turn. I do this all the time.
So you're going to tell me you look on other lanes to see how other people are bowling and try to line yourself up?
Absolutely. That's a smart thing to do. Because if they're beating me, they've got it figured out. Why should I sit there in my own personal hell? These guys got it figured out.
Wow. Okay.
I didn't pay $100 for this 6-game sweeper to beat myself in the face. I tried to make some money.
I got you.
So, it's just like left-handed or right-handed, doesn't matter. If there's somebody beating you by 10, 15, 20 pins a game,
yeah,
go watch them. Watch what they're doing. Watch what they're using. And then say, okay, how can I get close to that? Because that's what the lanes are ultimately asking for. And when you give the lanes what they're asking for, life becomes very easy. And those are the days when you lead tournaments. Or those are the days when you have a great set in league and you just have a lot of fun. Like in my coaching, when I ask, what are you thinking about when you bowl really well? Everybody says, well, I'm not really thinking about anything at all. Just kind of hit my spot and get it off my hand clean. So that's what you should be thinking about all the time.
I was say, I don't think about anything. When I'm in the groove, I'm in the groove. I just throw the ball.
Yeah, right? Well, that's how you just need to figure out how to stay there. And how you do that is by seeing the picture the entire time. How you see the picture in the entire time is you understand constantly what the lanes are asking for you and how to give the lanes what they're asking for.
Hey, when are you going to be on this side of town? I need a lesson. I need some lessons.
When's your state going to open up?
Man, seriously, dude. I'll get on a plane and come see you then. How about that? I'm like, hey, Matt, where are you at?
I'll tell you what, Florida is open for business, sir.
Yeah, man. I'm going to come see you. How long are you going to be out there?
I'm going to be out here for a while. Probably at least a few weeks. Minneapolis is in a tough way, man. It's just real tough back home.
Okay. Well, just to believe. Hey, when you see my message, don't be like, "Oh my God, Brandon again."
No, man, it'd be an honor, and I'd be honored because I tell you what, you can bowl. You can really bowl. And I remember when we bowled at the New Mexico Open together, man. And you had an amazing run. You can bowl. And you
know what's crazy? You just said it. All throughout qualifying, even when I came on Sunday to bowl, I didn't think about anything. When that championship match came, my mind was everywhere. I was thinking about everything, but before that, I didn't think about nothing. I just let the ball go, and I was like, okay, cool. I was just throwing the ball. And that lesson right there has taught me now to just not to think. And you just proved the point, hey, dude. And I'm just like, wow. Yeah.
I will tell you what, anybody that's watching this, read The Inner Game of Tennis by W. Timothy Galway. It's about this thick. It's probably 100 pages. It will lay the foundation for a very strong mental game.
Really?
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to go on Amazon right now. You said, what is it called again?
Inner Game of Tennis. And now you're gonna be like, hey man, why am I reading a book about tennis? And I'm like, it has nothing to do with tennis. It has a lot to do with how your mind operates on a fundamental level. And when you understand how your mind operates on a fundamental level, you can devise strategies to keep yourself very present, very focused, and very relaxed, and allow yourself to perform.
This is why I don't like her. 178 pages.
Wanda, yeah.
And see, it's like, wow.
Yeah. So it's absolutely a book I highly suggest. It's a great book that I give all my students. I suggest it to a lot of our national staff at Storm Roto Grip. It's just a phenomenal book. It's been around forever, but it's a great fundamentals book to improve your mental game, and it's a quick read. And I'll tell you what, with COVID, we all got a little time right now reading.
Wanda put it up. Regina put it up. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good read. So
Hey, so look, I'm about to go on Amazon right now. You know, that's Amazon is my buddy old pal right at this moment. And
yeah,
I am most definitely going to go get that book to read it because my mental game is not my strong suit. Far from it. And I believe if I can get my mental game right, I'll be a little more dangerous.
I'll be honest with you. The strongest players mentally, um, they generally trump the naturally gifted superior physical players because in the end, bowling is a lot more mental than it is physical. And if you can be any tour player or any high level player will tell you that the most important things are a strong mental game, be in the right place with the right ball at the right time, and then execution. Notice how execution is third on the list. Okay.
Right.
All right. So I really don't mind what your physical game does. If you have a very strong mental game and you're very good at identifying how to be in the right place at the right time with your bowling, as far as
Wow.
what part of the lane you're in, what ball you're using, what type of release you're using, these types of things.
Yeah.
Execution is third on the list because when you're matched up, you don't have to throw it perfect.
You're absolutely right.
I mean, you just got to throw it good. You don't even have to throw it great most of the time. You just got to throw it good when you're matched up. The whole trick is getting matched up.
Wow. Hey, I don't even know if this was an interview or a lesson or coaching lesson. As far as I really don't know, but Matt, thank you. I just want to say thank you.
My pleasure, man. I know a whole lot about nothing, so it's my pleasure to be on your show, man. I hope I get to see you bowl again soon, because I really enjoyed our time in New Mexico.
Oh man, like I said, I'm on tomorrow. Yeah, going to Tulsa tomorrow for SASBA doubles. I'm bowling with Vern Adams, so wish me luck out there.
I wish you the best of luck, my friend. I hope you bowl well.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. And dude, like I said, thank you for coming on the show, dude. You have been absolutely amazing, dude. You've great information. I've learned a lot just from you personally, and like I said, I already knew you were a great bowler, but dude, I see why Storm has put you in that place of where you are. I really do.
Well, I appreciate my friend, and I'm just looking forward to the next time we can be on the lanes together. And thank you so much for having me on the show, despite my time zone illiteracy. And I'll be. You got to send me your address. I'll send you a signed logo and Fusion jersey, and you can give it away on your program or do whatever you need to do. But just as a thank you for having me on the program, I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I will most definitely send you the address, and I will give that to some random guest that comes on and I see always, tuned in. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out, but I appreciate that, brother.
Absolutely, my friend. And much love to you and everybody out there and on the West Coast, and hope to see you soon.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And like I said, you trust and believe me.
All right, my friend. Take care.
Yep. All right, Matt. Thanks, brother. Have a good evening. Later. Man, hey, that was, like I said, if you guys missed it, please, please, please go back and listen to Matt, dude. He is extremely, extremely knowledgeable about the game. He's a great guy, very down to earth. Man, I really don't know what to say. I'm glad I got to meet him in New Mexico a couple of years back. And dude, it's like I said, bowling has got me to it introduced me to a lot of people, great people, I should say, that's not only here for bowling, but actually, life-wise too. So, guys, if you missed it, man, hit that share button. Dude, let's get Matt's story out there because it is truly, truly a great story to hear. Man, Wanda, and guys, hey, like I said, if you missed it, you guys seen it right here. Let me see. Where did y'all? Somebody posted that. Oh, bang. Wanda put on there the inner game of tennis. Like I said, Wanda had it since '94. Regina has it. And I'm sure a lot of other people have it. If you guys really want to work on your mental game, or need help with your mental game, Matt says this is a great book to read. It has nothing to do with the game. So, like I said, my phone's right here. About to get on Amazon and check it out. Hopefully, I can find it. If not, I'm a search because I really do want to read this book because I really want to get my mental game going. So, I appreciate all you guys tuning in. I know it's late in some areas, but as always, begin and end with the same way.
I got a strike while the iron is hot. One of one, don't follow flocks. Man, I got this on lock. Team Harvey, team hustle, team can't be stopped. Just cop 900 glory, ever fresh out the shop. Let's start bowling. I'm an expert on the lane. Yeah. Smooth approach, about to roll a perfect game. And well connected with the sport's biggest names. We can't talk unless an X on the frame. I'm here asking the questions, clear the air and confusion. Fresh, humble, and arrogant with the logo infusion. Red cup for the right vibe. I got the answers. You going live with Bowtie.
Yeah. Hey, guys, as always, I tell you guys, please take care of yourself. Wear your mask. I know it's not comfortable, but dude, we have to do what we have to do to try to get things to open up. Thank God. Put him first. He's the reason why we wake up and we get these opportunities. Man, love you guys. Appreciate the support. I will be going live this weekend while I'm out in Oklahoma. Wish me luck. And guys, see you guys next week if God is willing. All right. Love you guys, man. Bowtie out. Peace.